Good morning, teachers. In today's presentation, I will be presenting the new BQA framework, the framework they put forward in 2020 for evaluating school practices during exceptional circumstances. This is based on a workshop conducted by BQA for the principals in private schools of Bahrain, and I would like to share what I have learned in the workshop with all of you, so that we can be ready to face their evaluation, and also we will be aware of how to benefit our students. So during this presentation, I would like all of us to think collectively and come up with new ideas on how to implement each of the things which they will be evaluating. So when we are planning, we have to keep most importance, or we should give priority, first of all, for the welfare of the students, and second, to equip ourselves to be ready for the evaluation for BQA. So I would like to ask few teachers to make a to-do list. So I would like Mr. Yusuf Patwari, Nisha teacher, and Khadija to make a list of what we have to do during the presentation. And finally, we will share that and we will make an action plan based on that. So let me start. In this presentation, the main objective is to provide an overview of evaluating school practices in exceptional circumstances. I will again define what is meant by exceptional circumstances, and also to present the framework designed by BQA for evaluating the same, and to be familiar with the evaluation process, procedures, and activities during pre-evaluation, that is before evaluation. What are the preparedness we require, what all documents and what all things we have to prepare before evaluation, during evaluation, how the procedure will go during evaluation, and post evaluation, after evaluation, how will they judge us and when we will get the report. So those details, and also to give general notes and guidelines as to what we should do. So when I go to the key definitions of important terms which are new, by exceptional circumstances, they means the circumstances under which the kingdom and the society will not be able to have a usual manner of things. That is, these are factors which will affect the usual working of the schools, especially when there is natural calamities like earthquakes, hurricanes, or if there is a pandemic. Now we are in a situation where there is COVID-19 and we have changed the school system completely. Many of the schools have gone online. Some have hybrid system where they are having both online and also direct classes. So this is an exceptional circumstance. And another few terms which will be new to us is what is synchronous learning and what is asynchronous learning. By synchronous learning, they mean learning that occurs with direct interaction between the teacher and students during lesson sessions, whether in class or through electronic platforms. So this will include both direct classes in campus and also online classes through platforms like Zoom, which we are practicing. So both are included under synchronous learning. The situation is such that there will be interaction between the teacher and student. And asynchronous learning means distance learning that occurs through electronic platforms, tools, or channels without any direct interactions between the teacher and students during actual learning time. There are certain schools, they record the class and then share it with the students so they can observe and learn. Even I do that sometimes when I have a class schedule, and at the same time, if I have a meeting, I go for this asynchronous learning. I record the class prior to the time and upload that in the YouTube and share the link with students so that during my period, they can observe that class. So that belongs to asynchronous learning because there is no live interaction between the teacher and students. So these are few key definitions related to what we are talking. And hybrid learning means a mixture of both synchronous and asynchronous learning. So for my case, it's a hybrid learning. Most of the time it is synchronous. I use a Zoom platform, and I think most of you also have the same situation. You have synchronous learning most of the time, and at times, if you cannot uh, attend a particular class or give a particular class, you can even go for a pre-recorded session. So this will come under asynchronous. So we are doing a hybrid of that. Now, let me go to the evaluation section during. Yes, you can stop me at any time when you have a doubt. Now here you have 3 sections, and in each section there are indicators. There are a total of 11 indicators here. See what are the key domains or sections. The first section is quality of student welfare. So they will be evaluating the quality of student welfare. They will be evaluating the development of student learning and also the quality of school change management. So the school have changed from its direct instruction to online mode, and how the school is managing that. That's what's meant by quality of school change management. Let us see what are the indicators to evaluate the quality of student welfare. First of all, facilitating students' academic achievement. Then facilitating students' personal development. Remember in the previous framework also, these were important areas which they access. That is students' academic achievement, students' personal development, and also they have added a new thing now, facilitating development of students' technological skills. Now, when we go to the description of each of these indicators, we will see what are the tools or documents they use in order to evaluate this. Then we can come up with new ideas how we can improve what is already in practice in our school. So the second one is development of student learning. How they evaluate, what are the indicators, the use of suitable teaching and learning strategies for all learning styles. So we have to give importance to students who like to learn through words, through to words which are heard by seeing pictures or by seeing videos. So we have to give importance to all type of learning styles, and also learning situation management. That is how we are managing the discipline inside the classroom, and assessment, utilization and enhancement of all learning styles. So different assessment techniques. In the earlier session, we saw how we can use Google Classroom to assess students. So different styles of assessment is possible. And then utilization of technology. So how well we use technology to enable the teaching learning process, assessment, everything they will check, and they will judge on the development of student learning. Now the next set of indicators to evaluate the quality of school change management is, yes? Is there any doubt?
Meeting. From Nargis home, some sound is coming. Nargis, mute
Please
yourself.
mute
Yes,
yourself.
yes, 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 yes. Sorry.
Okay. So then next indicators is planning and evaluating the school situation and handling exceptional circumstances. So we have a plan, good plan in process, and we are time to time evaluating the plan and making it better, managing, developing, and monitoring staff performance. So we will have to monitor staff performance, which means we will have to start observations of classes, and we are managing that. We are giving proper feedback in order to improve the performance of each teacher, and we are from time to time developing new procedures in order to improve the performance of teachers and students. Then resource management, how well we use the resources. Now the resources are available in internet, so there are we cannot give the excuse of not having smart boards and all, so that they will evaluate. And communication with stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Who all are the stakeholders when it comes to a school?
The parents,
Parents,
students,
management,
teachers,
Students,
managing
first of all students, then teachers,
parents,
then
teachers.
parents. So how we are communicating with them. So how the school leadership is communicating with teachers, how the school leadership and teachers are communicating with parents, how the teachers and social counselors are communicating with parents and students. So all these communication process they will check. So these are the ways in which they evaluate the quality of school change management. Now, these are the indicators. Now we will see how they evaluate the indicators. Can you tell me total number of indicators? How many were there?
11.
There were 11. There were 11 indicators. Now, earlier they were judging schools as excellent, good, satisfactory, and inadequate. Now they will evaluate and they will judge each of the indicators as effective practices, partially effective practices, and ineffective practices. So the school will be judged to belong to one of these. And this one, if it is effective practices, they will categorize the school as A. And if it is partially effective, they will categorize it as B. And if it is ineffective, they will categorize as C. So let us see the criterion to judge something as effective practices. What is the criterion? The school procedures are appropriate and contribute to achieving the expected impact on the quality of students' welfare and their learning. So each of the indicator, there are 11 indicators, right? Each of the indicator will be judged as one of these, effective. It is effective if the procedures are appropriate and contribute to achieving the expected impact. And an indicator is partially effective if the school procedures are inconsistent and partially contribute to achieving the expected impact on the quality of students. Suppose 60% of the teachers are doing all the classes really well and all, then where will it go? It will go ineffective. To at least consider it as partially effective, I think about 70% of the teachers should do it correct. Only then it will go to partially effective. If 90 and above percentage of the teachers are doing it well, it will go to effective practices. Below 70, they will consider it as ineffective because it's inconsistent and insufficient. So school procedures are insufficient to achieve the expected impact on quality of students' welfare and their learning. So each of the 11 indicators will be judged as effective, partially effective, or ineffective. Now let us see how the final judgment is made, how they categorize the schools. Now, if out of the 11 indicators, at least 9 indicators are found as effective practices, with none of the other indicators considered as ineffective practices, the school will belong to category A. And category B is awarded when at least 8 indicators are considered as effective practices or partially effective practices. It doesn't matter even if 1 or 2 goes to the ineffective. Doesn't matter if at least 8 are either effective or partially effective, then it will go to category B. As I told earlier, partially means at least 75% of the thing should be done. Then category C, this is given when 4 or more indicators are considered as ineffective practices. Now, can you make a guess in which category our school will belong? No one would like to make a guess?
It should be
Yeah,
A.
maybe we are below. No.
But
Ineffective. Below 70% we are.
Yeah.
So it is B.
Yeah, it is below 70%.
Below 70 means category C it will go. So we have to do everything in our hands in order to increase that to category B and A. I think the teacher said that from our previous experiences, but now the situation is different. In previous experience, our main weakness was our infrastructure. Okay, now we don't have that. That is not a criterion here. Our infrastructure will not affect our judgment. So it is completely based on teachers' performance. So I think we can, if we try our level best, increase the judgment. We can make it better. We can make it either category B or even A if we all try hard. So we don't have this weakness. That is the infrastructure. We cannot blame it now. So the evaluation section, so each of the indicator, what are the things done? And now, Mr. Yusuf Patwari, Nisha teacher and Khadija, please note down what we can do, actually do in order to improve our situation. A variety of academic support and enrichment programs provided which are balanced to meet student needs. So academic achievement will be evaluated based on the academic support. Enrichment programs, that is as part of everyday lessons, what enrichment programs we are giving. I think we can also start our subject club activities that is considered as our enrichment programs in addition to what is taught in the curriculum. So we have to make it elaborate and of good quality in order to count them as enrichment program. And we will have to show evidence for whatever we are doing. So we will record the video of that and upload. Then appropriate plans to support students academically according to their needs, which means we have to give differentiation. We have to give importance to different students according to their levels, according to their...
Some sound is coming. Some sound, echo.
Yeah, please mute yourself, all of you. Only if you want to talk something, unmute and speak. Then the effective mechanism to evaluate students' learning. So how can we evaluate students' learning? Now we are using Google Forms. There are clusters. We can also ask the students to present maybe 1 or 2 periods while teaching each chapter, or once in a month, we can make 2 periods for students. Let them do presentations within the content. We can assign topics to them and dates to them. So let them present. So this will be a totally new mechanism of evaluating students other than the paper survey method. And then students' progress is monitored to provide appropriate academic support. So we will also have to maintain the scores of students in each of the class test assignment, and then we have to publish that in the group and let the students and parents be informed of their progress. So I would now like to ask you what we can do in order to improve this first indicator, that is students' academic achievement. No suggestions? Okay, later also when you think, if you have suggestions, you can give in WhatsApp as well. If you have any suggestions, please speak up. Okay, let me do the next one now. So the next indicator is facilitating students' personal development. See here, there is a star. What is the meaning of star? Star means this is key. If this is not there, this indicator will directly go to ineffective category. Okay, so this is most important. These two starred ones are the key. Psychological and social care to students when they face problems. So how we behave with students during the class and after the class is very important. We should not be harsh or rude to students inside the classroom. We have to behave very politely because the students may be having several issues at home. There will be financial issues. There may be some health issues. If not them, some of the family members may be ailing. So all this will affect the behavior of students. So we have to keep that in our mind and behave with students in a polite manner. Even if some students are not attending classes for some time, don't be rude to that child. We will have to ask politely, call them personally and ask what is the reason instead of insulting that child in the class. We can ask the classmates what is the reason, but never judge the student when they are not attending classes or whether they are doing something which is not appropriate. Now, students are directed to assign support personnel. So we have social counselors and we have class teachers, and we can also take the advice of senior teachers who can guide students. So whenever a student comes up with some problem, we have to give good direction or advice. If we cannot, we will have to assign that student to some person like the social counselor or some senior teacher who can handle it effectively in a polite manner. So these are very important. It's key. If this is not there, everything will go wrong. Then the students' commitment and punctuality in attending lessons. Here we have a big disadvantage that many of our students have device issues and they have internet issues. So what is the solution? One solution is to give them pre-recorded classes, either through WhatsApp or upload the video and share it with them. Or is there any other method?
At least 1 or 2 period to join in a week.
Yeah, but
if they are not 5 days, at least 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, but yeah, that's also possible. But our attendance will be low. I'm really worried about that.
Or like recorded video can be shared in.
That will be one method which we can do. And then students provided with adequate opportunities to develop their positive attitude towards lifelong learning, which means we have to continuously motivate the students. Despite their difficulties, they can do things. So we have to motivate them. Their ability to communicate with their teachers and classmates and dealing positively with various organizational discipline. Now, since the students I think many of them have now my contact number. So sometimes I receive messages from students that they cannot even ask doubts to some particular teachers because they don't entertain that. They behave rudely to them. So such behaviors are not expected from teachers, and always motivate students to ask doubts. I know they will be asking less doubts because it is online. Still motivate them to ask doubts, and even if not in the regular class time, they can always ask doubts through WhatsApp, and we will all respond to them. When I tell that some teachers, it's very few, one or two, okay? We have around 60 teachers now. I'm not talking about all of them. Out of 60, it's only regarding one or two teachers. Now, adequate opportunities provided to students to develop their positive values by fostering positive attitude towards local and global issues. So this is also another descriptor for the indicator. So these are the factors they will consider. Now, let me go to the next one. Next indicator is facilitating development of students, technological students. Students are provided with opportunities to acquire technological and independent learning skills. So this, on hearing this, I feel that we have to conduct, in addition to our regular classes, some off-class activities where they will be made aware of new apps and technologies which they can use effectively for learning purpose. So in addition to regular classes, we will also give them some orientation programs. These orientation programs should be for teachers, students, and even parents, especially for lower classes. When we are taking such making such programs, we should include parents as well. So this we have to work on a little bit, and necessary technical support is provided to students when needed. This is very difficult to do because with our fee structure, we are not able to provide devices to students. Some schools are doing that. They are providing laptops to students, but their 1 month fees is more than the rate of a laptop. So we cannot consider this description. We will have to explain why we cannot do that. So now here, these are the evidences they will require. This is how they will judge the indicator. One is observation of student standards and progress in lessons, which means they will observe the lessons of teachers. We will have to send them the Zoom link, and they will enter the Zoom class and they will make lesson observation. And then scrutiny of students' work, tasks, and projects. This is why we have made for each class a Google Drive, and I'm asking you to save that in Google Classroom or Google Drive, the students' work, whatever they are submitting, and the projects, everything. So they will have a look at it completely. And then meetings and surveying the opinions of students, parents, and teachers. So they may conduct meeting online or offline with the parents, teachers, then coordinators, maybe HODs, maybe with me, with the board, everyone. They will conduct meetings, and also they have asked for the details, contact details of all parents and teachers and students. So they will be making Google Forms, surveys, and sending it to the parents and students. And so like that, they will get the opinion of everyone. Then they will analyze school policy to support students academically. So we have a policy at place, we will reform that. Then analysis of documents related to students' special cases. So we have a few special need children in our school, so they will also analyze the documents related to them. Then the analysis of documents related to monitoring students' attendance. So I request both the counselors to keep the attendance clear, and we will have to submit them, and also we will have to give an explanation for low attendance. And analysis of the school's policy to support students' personal needs. So we have to have a written policy. I'll try to make that with the support of the coordinators and counselors, and I will try to share it with all teachers so that we can follow that particular policy. Like I told, if there is any difficulty faced by students, we have to advise them, and if we cannot do that, we will have to assign a person who is able to advise that child in a proper way. Then school policy and procedures related to students' technical support. So what actions we are doing? What we can do is we are recording the classes and giving that to those students who cannot regularly attend classes. Now, again, Section 2, that is developing students' learning. So here there will be the indicator and here description. Use of suitable teaching and learning strategies. So here, Section 2 is mainly focused on our teaching methods. So suitable teaching learning strategies. We know that we are making a particular strategy and fixing on that. We are not trying different strategies for teaching. Always it will be a lecture method, either with the paper and pen, and sometimes we may use PowerPoint. We should also add to that videos, and we should also make the student presentation. So add variety to your teaching methods, teaching strategies. So appropriate teaching and learning strategies. And also we have earlier learned strategies to develop critical thinking, leadership, problem solving skills. So I would like the presenters in the coming sessions, coming professional development session, to choose variety of teaching strategies, new technologies that the teachers can adopt in the teaching procedure, or new technology that the teachers can adopt while evaluating students in their formative evaluation. There is class test, daily evaluation and all. So please come up with such strategies and present that in the professional development program so that the teachers can learn and adopt that in the classes. And variety of attractive and engaging methods and styles. So this is one area I would like the presenters. Now we have presentations by Khadija, Tasneem, and Zinath. Then we have Sadman, Musaddiq and all, right? So you can focus particularly in this area. This is where we can improve. Then different learning resources suited to the circumstantial situations are utilized in an effective manner that allows students the opportunities to develop their experience and enhance their knowledge, skills. Anyway, we are doing a lot of things to enhance their knowledge. Now we have to focus on developing their skills, and also we have to check the depth of understanding. So it should not be a lecture like I am giving now. We have to assess time to times to know whether they are understanding or not. So the next indicator is learning situation management. So various types of learning situations are planned effectively, including face-to-face and distance ones, to develop 21st century skills. So this is related to our previous professional development program. So we have to keep that in focus when we are planning the lesson. Seamless transition is ensured when presenting different knowledge and concepts, and meaningful links to real life experiences are provided. And clear instructions are provided when giving tasks and assignments with clear expectations from students. So don't forget the learning objectives. We have to mention that even in the online classes. Now, students are encountered and encouraged and motivated to be engaged in learning process and activities, as we discussed before. Then students are appropriately managed and disruptions to learning situations are handled adequately. So this is related to their behavior issues. So the meeting may end shortly. I will start a new one. Please come and join for that. Then section 2, developing students' learning. So assessment, utilization, and enhancement of learning is the next indicator. So the achievement of learning objectives are in line with curriculum expectations. They will also go through the textbook. See, when they are observing a lesson, sometimes they will feel that what the teacher is teaching is not appropriate to the grade level. So what they do is they will ask one of the student to give the textbook and they will check what the teacher is teaching is according to the grade level as mentioned in the curriculum. So they will do that cross-checking. Now they have more time to do the cross-checking because it is online, right? So please make sure you are teaching up to the grade level expectations. Then assessment results are used to identify students of different levels and plan appropriate teaching learning.